Hey guys, and welcome back. As you know, this week has been a crazy week, and the way I absorb information is from the horse's mouth itself, the White House press secretary. Let's see what's going on and see what Biden's up to, the White House, and our government as a whole.
Just have one thing for all of you. This morning, the number of Americans on insured unemployment hit the lowest level since 1970,
Stop the cap.
lower than any year of the presidencies of Reagan, H.W. Bush, W. Bush, or Trump.
With automation and inflation going on and small businesses getting wiped out at an extremely high rate because due to COVID, something that we've never seen before. And sure, and that happened. Okay, under his watch. Interesting. I was there. Wasn't too long ago, but go on.
Today's weekly UI data is consistent with a job market where unemployment is low and people can seamlessly find jobs. That's not all what a recession labor market looks like. We brought unemployment below 4%, 4 years faster than forecasters thought was possible.
But why am I seeing all of these hiring signs? These for hire signs are going up like crazy. It don't add up.
Before we pass the American Rescue Plan, we have added an average more than 400,000 jobs per month in recent months. And as we make a transition to steady and stable growth over the course of the next year, even something closer to the range of 150,000 jobs per month would be consistent with an unemployment rate as low as it is now and a sign of a healthy economic transition. With that, Amr, you want to kick us off?
Yes, thank you.
Let's get into the questions, shall we? Let's get into it.
The Supreme Court decision today on New York's concealed carry law. Is the administration concerned that, and this comes, on the cusp of major legislation here in Washington, but I was wondering, is the administration concerned that for whatever efforts you might make on gun legislation, we're now in an era of conservative high court that's been probably conservative leaning for a while, that is oriented toward gun owner rights. Are we now in a period where, for whatever the president may try, that gun owner rights are just going to be expanded?
Well, let me just say that we are disappointed by the Supreme Court's ruling today. The Second Amendment, as you've heard the president say, is not obsolete and permits common sense gun regulation. Justice Department defended New York's concealed carry law, which had been in place since 1911. And
I'm for people protecting themselves with firearms. Just saying. All about it. Be responsible with it. I'm all about it. Protect yourself.
Impose only a modest burden on most gun owners. The law applied only to handguns and public places and contained an exception for people who could establish an actual articulable need for self-defense.
I need her to look up when she's saying this. It don't give me confidence. I just need somebody to be like looking at me in my face or towards the camera when you're doing this, like at least.
Despite the setbacks, the president earlier urged states to continue to enact and enforce common sense laws to make their citizens and communities safer for gun violence. As it relates to what's happening in Congress right now, we think that's separate and apart. Clearly, that is a bipartisan effort. The president is encouraged by what he is seeing. The culture vote happened today.
What does that mean, bro? I'm trying to gain muscle, but that don't mean, if I get encouraged by looking at a bench press and some dumbbells, that doesn't mean I'm going to get in a better shape. What does that mean?
So it's moving along in the right direction. Look, when the president went to Uvalde, when he went to Buffalo with the First Lady, those are trips that he does not want to do again. The president understands he's had a long career in doing gun reform and ending gun violence since he was a senator. We have not seen this type of bipartisan type of coming together to push this legislation in decades. So we are definitely.
What about the protection? The whole reason they've been pushing this gun legislation is because multiple mass shootings keep popping up and occurring, and the last one was really ugly. Thankfully, and I mean that with a heavy heart. Thankfully, this abortion, Roe versus Wade, had everyone distracted, so people could kind of, not focus on that terrible, terrible, tragic, not poor elementary school shooting. They really exposed a security issue at most schools across the board, ours included. The only reason we added metal detectors was because we had a couple guns fall out some backpacks because students were sloppy, and they were just using them to protect themselves. They weren't trying to do a mass shooting. They might have some ops, but it was mainly to protect themselves. But because of all of this is going on, everyone's just sweeping it, under the rug. But don't talk about the security issue. Talk about the security issue, not about the guns. Guns don't hurt people. Stupid people with guns hurt people. Let's continue.
Encouraged by what we're seeing, and the president wants them to move quickly so he could get to his desk and he can sign that.
If I could ask just one more.
Sure.
Secretary Granholm met with oil executives today. I guess has peace between the administration and the oil executives broke out, and more importantly, have some concrete ideas come out of this meeting. And finally, just why did the president, he stopped by the wind executive meeting we were just in, why did he spend some time with the oil executives?
Well, let me take your first question, and I have a bit of a readout for you here on the meeting. So at President Biden's direction, Energy Secretary Granholm, who was in front of you all yesterday, met with the CEOs and executives of the 7 major U.S. oil companies this morning at the Department of Energy headquarters in Washington, D.C. The meeting was a productive dialogue focused on creating an opportunity for industry to work with government to help deliver needed relief to American consumers.
I need you to look at me when you're telling me this. I don't feel confident with you just reading it. Like, I could read, any motherfucker could read. I need some confidence. I need for you to be talking directly to me into the camera with confidence chest out. Points, factual data, positioning. I need everything. It's your strategy, end goal, milestones. I need the whole enchilada presented to me with confidence. And this, you going like this and just reading down. She's just like, we're going to be working on inflation and working on unemployment. I need you front and center. Unemployment, chest out. We're coming for you, unemployment. We're going to rip your throat out. That's the type of energy I want from my White House. But then again, probably why I'm not a political leader. But anyway.
Consumers. The Secretary highlighted the fact that the U.S. has achieved record oil production under the Biden administration, and that President Biden is taking historic actions to add to that supply. So the Secretary made clear that the administration believes it's imperative that companies increase supply of gas, and she reiterated that the President is prepared to act quickly and decisively.
Dude, look up at the camera, please, for the love of God. Like, you're killing me. Just please. I don't feel confident. Imagine if you're a surgeon. You're getting a surgery, and your surgeon's about to cut you open into your heart, and you're like, oh, how are you going to fix me? And he looks down in the medical journal or medical dictionary, and he just reads off the procedure without even looking at you. And then he looks up and is like, that's what we're going to do. I would be like, yeah, we need to go to Seattle. Pittsburgh ain't for us. We out of here. I need some other consults, but you'll be the last person to slice me open, and that's what they're doing. They're slicing the country open. They have the decision making to bring us back to life or to make us flatline. Very interesting.
Using the tools available to him as appropriate on sensible recommendations as well. So this is an ongoing dialogue. I think some of you may have heard from the oil companies themselves.
What does that even mean, an ongoing dialogue? There's been no progression made. They're not responding to our emails. Next question.
Saying it was productive, and so what Secretary Granholm has called on is for her team to continue having conversations with the oil companies. As it relates to your second question, look, the president, it was a stop by. This is something that he does very often. There were governors in that meeting.
Why does she keep flailing her? I mean, I know I do that sometimes, but it's only when I'm hyped. She uses her hand gestures just in everyday conversation. Like, what are you, Italian lady? Like, what are you doing up there? What are you doing? Come on, man. Come on. Let's get to it. Like, let's take some ownership, accountability. Let's not deflect. Let's include details and milestones. Let's create a time schedule. Yeah. Come on. Hop to it.
Who are virtual and in person. So we see this as a part of his schedule where there was actually a meeting here at the White House.
Just to follow on that, you described this as, you know,
She BS so hard that she did not feel good about that towards the end of the question, because she's like you can tell when someone feels good when you killed the question or something, or you did a good performance. That's what she's doing. She's up there performing. You could tell that what she gave the reporters, because those are all reporters up there. Like, you're looking, these are the people that ask questions on the other side of the table, you know, that you're, or the podium in which you're looking at. And if you just feed them just cow manure, A, they'll grill you. B, you look terrible also, because you're on national television, you know. Like, it's one thing, you know, because some people, let's say you're doing customer service, it's like, oh yeah, we're on a recorded line. You know, she is also on a recorded line because she's a government official. So she's working on a recorded line that's on every platform known to man, including YouTube, just capping. You could tell after she capped, she didn't feel good.
a productive dialogue. They're going to continue to have ongoing conversations, but should we take
Productive dialogue. She knew it was BS.
that to mean that there were no sort of concrete steps taken? I mean, yesterday you said that the hope was that some solutions would come of this. Were they able to identify and agree on any solutions?
Yeah, I think what I was saying and Secretary Granholm was conveying as well. This is a first step with a continued dialogue. Clearly, we want to come to solutions, and I think there's going to be multiple other steps to get there. Look, the president.
What are the steps, bro? I need details. You're not telling me. You're just giving me a whole bunch of fluff. What are the details? What are those steps? What do those look like? How long are the steps? Who has to sign the document? What are we doing?
President asked Secretary Granholm to do this so that ideas can come forward, and hopefully we can get to a solution. We want oil company to get to a higher capacity. That's what we're asking for, so that we can bring down gas prices, as you know, as we have been saying. So they're going to continue to have dialogue, and hopefully we get to a point where there is a solution and we can figure this out together.
And on the Supreme Court, as we await a decision on Roe, you know, you've said that the administration is, you know, looking into options for executive action. I understand you're not ready to detail what those might be, but does the administration have executive actions that are ready to go that we could expect to see if and when a decision is announced?
So I appreciate the question, and it's an important question because this decision that
She's about to cap so hard. She's about to cap so hard.
we are all anticipating coming forth is going to change so many lives. So many.
Dude, word salad. She's got every vegetable in this word salad. Okay, she has some meats, you know, some salami chopped up in her word salad. It's just pure word salad. Like, she got some bacon bits.
People's lives, take away women's rights. So we understand the question. We are just still trying to go through and having that discussion to see what our options are before we move forward. We don't want to get ahead of the president.
How cool would it be to be like a hand sign person for the deaf? That'd be a cool job, because you hope people know what's going on in today's news. I just want to say that. I bet you she thinks her job is so cool. I'm jealous of her job because, like, you know, she's probably like a celebrity, like, to be honest with you, because, you know, they can't hear her, but they can see. But, like, for the news, like, I don't know, the subtitles be messed up, and if you have a legitimate person that's doing the sign language, then it's so much more enjoyable, and, you know, at least I would appreciate them. Shoot, I can't lie. So.
President clearly, but if, you know, and I've said this before, if indeed there is the Supreme Court in the Dobbs decision it overturns Roe, we will ask Congress to restore Roe.
And just to be clear, will the president accept this decision as legitimate, even if he disagrees with it?
It's going to come from the Supreme Court, so it's going to be a decision that
Deflect.
we certainly are going to respond to. So I'll leave it at that. I mean, it's just like any other Supreme Court decision, just like the one that they did today on guns. So as we know, the draft was leaked, so we can't really, we don't want to speak to that too much until there's an actual decision, which we know is supposed to be coming. So we're all just like you.
Chill with the hand movements, lady. Okay, you went from just looking down. She's not looking down. She's looking up, and then she's just having a seizure. She's just having a seizure. Just seizing up. Just what are you doing? Are you a server at Olive Garden? Are you turning the Parmesan cheese? Like, what are you doing, lady?
Waiting to see when that happens. But in the meantime, we're doing our due diligence to be prepared. I just don't have anything for you at this time.
No shit, you ain't got nothing for us. You said a whole bunch of nothing and took up 3 minutes of airtime. Come on.
Thanks. Back to the gas tax, since I see you have a
Oh.
graphic up there on the
Oh my
screen.
gosh, I have a graphic.
Was the president surprised or disappointed by the lukewarm reaction that his gas tax holiday proposal got on Capitol Hill?
So I just want to step back for a second because this is very important. So the president wanted to
I just want to step back for a second and waste some time. I just want to stall. Okay.
be sure and wanted to find a way to simply and find a straightforward way to give consumers relief at the gas pump. The next 3 months, this is a 3 months, 90-day suspension on the gas tax holiday, as we all know it's called.
By the way, if you really are hurting over these gas prices, one of the biggest expenses is just driving to work. I eliminated it by working from home. You should try it. Okay. If you're like, I work in a trade or I can do my job from home, get a job in the same industry that's just closer to the crib. If not, then freaking move or drive a Prius, a Tesla. Get on it. Do something. The hybrid, they have hybrid F-150s. Do something about it. Don't let this be a talking point in our government meetings. Like, make it stop. Let's get to it.
And it's an important time during when people are driving a lot around the country, visiting their families, going on vacation. And so, it is important to give people a little bit of relief. If you think about it, on the federal level, that's 18 cents. He also called on states. We've seen some states, this is one of the states here, Maryland, do the same. And the average amount in states is about 30 cents. So already you're at 48 cents right there, almost 50 cents. That matters for people. That matters for people like teachers, like healthcare aides,
Not if you live close enough, drive a Prius, a Tesla, or just make the right decisions so you're within a radius which is appropriate to your budgeting for gasoline. Come on, people. Take ownership. Let's do it.
like construction workers, like plumbers, who spend a lot of time driving from.
Those are the people that burn the most gas. You know what? They can afford it. Plumbers make bank. Construction workers make bank. They be having no big old diesel trucks for a reason. A, they doing side jobs on top of their 9 to 5. But also B, they're making enough to the point to where it's like, who cares?
From one place to another as part of their jobs. That's going to make a difference. And if the oil refineries do their part, we're looking at $1 being taken off per gallon. So that
your average master plumber makes over $70,000, which makes no sense because you just said that in public view. I know. I used to be a plumber. You capping.
That matters, and we know it works. We know the policy works. I mentioned Maryland up here. Connecticut has done the same. Georgia has done the same, suspended their gas tax, and most of their tax relief was passed to consumers. And as you see from this chart here, you see...
That's how you know you're in trouble, as you can see from my chart with multiple squiggles on it and numbers.
Here's where it was when it was enacted, and then it dropped. And then when it ended, it went back up.
The old chart.
So it did make a difference. So President is calling on other states to take similar measures and for Congress to suspend the national gas tax on oil companies to pass that relief on to consumers.
But Maryland's now actually getting ready to increase its gas tax next month, I guess, to make up for some of the revenue that it lost.
Reporter ISO'd her real quick.
when it imposed this gas tax holiday. And given the level of ambivalence or opposition on Capitol Hill, how hard is the president willing to fight to try to convince Congress to change its mind?
This is important to the president, which is why he asked Congress to take this on. The way that we see it is a simple, fast way to give American families, the American public, a little relief for 90 days. As you know, there are plenty of legislation that's on the Hill right now that talks about cutting taxes. This is one of them. This is something that's simple, that's easy, that's 90 days.
You're talking about 3 months, but what about our end goal? We have over like 180 days, somewhere maybe a little less, like 150 and some change worth of days in this year. You're talking about 90. What is the end of our year going to look like? What's the end of your term going to look like as Joe Biden's administration? Answer my questions and what we're looking for, and we'll know where we're headed. Where's our future headed, lady? We got stuff going on.
During a critical period for the American public.
So he's going to keep fighting for
He's
it.
going to keep fighting for it. We think it's a simple
keep
thing to do,
fighting.
and he's going to keep
All
fighting.
my life I had to fight.
Sure, I wanted to go a little bit deeper on the trip or the ramifications of it. The president heads overseas at sort of a thorny time for his domestic agenda. You know, the gas tax holiday, there could be the first movement on gun reform in a generation. We're all waiting the Supreme Court decision. Is there any concern about his ability to shepherd his domestic agenda from 4,000 miles away? Is there anything different being done, given how many balls are in the air at the same time?
Look, we believe that a president could do his job any place, anywhere, at any time. So
What does that even mean? Does that mean that you could just go ahead and do meetings through Zoom, with Putin? You could settle it via Zoom? Is that what you're telling me? You could work remote as the president? What are we talking about? Oh, God.
So that is not a concern for us. Clearly, yes, to your point, Cleve, there is a lot going on in the world, but that
shit.
is what is expected of a president. There are always multiple issues, sometimes multiple crises that a president has to deal with, but it doesn't stop them from doing the work that they need to do.
Well, duh. We can't fire you. We'd have to impeach you, which is also doubles as public humiliation and as a major black eye on your country, as if you have to fire the person you elected. What are we talking about?
What he's doing abroad, as you heard from my colleague, is critical, is important. That leader-to-leader engagement, talking to our NATO allies,
Sure.
being there at the G7, especially what's going on with Russia's war, for the president to be there and to continue to be a leader in bringing those countries together and talk about real issues that matter to all sides is also an important important agenda for the president to continue to move forward.
And to the second question, is there anything special or different being done about this trip as opposed to other foreign trips?
I mean,
Given how many things are,
No, not at all. We're moving forward like we do with any Oconus trip that we have had. I think this is, I've lost track, maybe the fourth or fifth trip, as you guys are probably keeping track better than I am, that the president has done. And during a time, I mean, this past year and a half has not been an easy year. The president walked in having to turn back on the economy, if you will. He walked in.
Cap, we were actually underneath Trump's administration. I'm not even that much of a Trump fan. I'd rather have Trump over Biden. But, like my mans, they shut everything down, under his administration. If we was hanging on, I mean, we're doing bad, but we're doing bad now, so who gives a damn? And the switch ain't turned on for COVID until he was in the chair, Let that happen in the middle of Joe Biden's presidency. I would love to compare results, man. I would love that. Especially that first week where like Trump wasn't sleeping because his tan was all messed up. He still had white raccoon eyes because, when you're the president and you got shut down every business in America for a long ass time and everyone's at home for like over a month. That first couple months were chaos. They shut the whole world down, bro. Joe Biden cannot survive. I don't think Joe Biden could go without the lack of sleep. I'm sorry. Unless Kamala is about that life. I don't know. Hope I'm wrong, though. I don't want to be right. I always root for the betterment of our country. And we'll never wish otherwise, regardless of who's in charge. To be clear.
having to deal with a COVID crisis, a pandemic, once in a generation
Cap.
pandemic. So he has had to deal with multiple things on his plate. So this is just part of another trip that
So
he's
much
gone
cap.
on. Let me try. Go ahead.
Thank you, Karine. The president isn't really doing everything he can to bring gas prices down, is he?
I feel like there's is there something else to the question?
Oh, there's a lot to the question.
Oh, okay, well,
For example,
yeah.
as you mentioned earlier, he's meeting today with people installing offshore wind equipment, but not oil and gas CEOs who are rarely ever in town, but they are today. So how did that help lower gas prices?
Well, the president has done a.
How about the
So
cap?
let me step back for a second.
But
No,
just
no,
by
no,
meeting
no,
with
no.
offshore wind
No, you're
folks
asking
and
me.
not with gas.
You're
oil
asking
and
me the
gas
question.
CEOs.
He got her. He knows. Look at her face, y'all. She knows that he got her good.
How does that lower gas
She's losing control. Peter, good job. Give Peter a raise.
prices? You said
Peter.
he's done
Peter, you're crushing me, Peter. And I hope answers to those questions, it'll be in the betterment of our president because he's not flawless.
everything in his power.
Dude, look at the panic, bro. Look at the panic. Ooh, look at her stare off into the distance. You can see her soul crushing. It's just like you can see her crush her soul just like because she can't escape. Look at her. Look at all the. She in her mind, bro. She's running away. She is running away in her mind as fast as she can. She's like, you can't catch me, Peter. You and your tough questions. Like, come on, you gotta do better. Give me some information. Don't deflect. That's all I ask. Will she deflect? Let's see.
They were a mile.
She's pausing. She's trying to analyze. She's trying to cook something up. Come on, you can do it. Give me some information. Don't you lie to me. Don't you beat around the bush. Don't you give me no word salad.
Away.
Peter, you're asking me a question. May I answer?
Yes, please.
Okay, here we go. I just want to take us back a second on how we got here, right? So we have
She answered none of his questions. Her first statement is something that he did not ask.
seen gas prices go up by $2 a gallon.
move.
One
Good
of the
move.
reasons we have seen that, the reason we have seen that is because of Russia's war in Ukraine. And once that happened, once we saw what that impact was going to be, the president took action. He took action. He made a
I've been watching these for a while, and Peter always has the best questions. The boy dirty. Best reporter ever.
historic choice to
He's the LeBron of journalism.
tap the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, 1 million barrels a day, and that was for 6 months. And that helped blunt the impact of what we're seeing right now with prices going up. So that matters. The ethanol 15 the action that the president took, that matters because it's going to bring down gas prices in gas stations, over 1,000 gas stations across the country, including the Midwest. That
Gas ain't the issue. The issue is the gas is going up, and you got to drive too long. Start driving less. Just get your whole life in a 20-minute driving radius, at least 8 out of 10 times. At least. Think about it. You can't change the game. They're running it, But what you can do is you can change the way you play. Just saying.
matters. And so the president is trying to figure out and take steps in how we can bring the gas prices down.
You can't.
And we have a high level of oil production. So what we are asking
that mean?
the oil refinery companies to do is to take that production, turn it into refine that oil so that there is capacity. We are not at capacity right now, and it does matter that the Secretary of Energy, which is her purview, that is her portfolio, to meet with these oil
What
execs
does
that
that
she
mean?
does on pretty regular basis.
But your point was about how we got here. The president said, as a candidate,
Yeah.
no more drilling on federal lands, no more drilling, including offshore, no ability for the oil industry to continue to drill, period. Aren't some of those things that would bring the price of gas down now?
Let me tell you how we got here, since you just said how we got here.
That's not what he asked. Okay. So, guys, I'm gonna end it here. Just can't keep going if she's not answering any specific question or giving factual information and etc. Hope you guys liked it. This is me trying to figure out what's going on in the world. Very tough. Very, very tough as far as solutions. I know what the problem is. I know what the problem is. You can see the problem. Everybody know what the problem is, but the solutions, you're supposed to bring the solutions, the answers. But we'll see if they improve. I have high hopes. Thanks for joining, her presentation skills need some milk. Okay, I need you looking at me in the eye or to the camera or to the reporter and giving factual information that supports your responses to these hard questions by people that are trying to spread the news on what you are doing, because there are multiple changes going on in the world. People are winning, people are losing their way of life. There's a whole country is getting bombed. Some crazy stuff going on, but I just try to stay informed. Hope you guys liked the video. I try to make it lighthearted as normal. Healthy don't hurt. I'm out. Peace.